Welcome to the CD Fitness Podcast, where our mission is to change the way women see themselves in order to show up optimally in all aspects of their life. We aim to improve knowledge, self-love, and the embodiment of the unique self on this earth. We prioritize health and nutrition education as well as coaching to empower women to make healthier decisions to live longer, achieve freedom from diet culture, and create a lifestyle that they truly want to live while supporting one another as a collective whole of badass women. I am your host, Cheryl D. Guzman, and also the founder of CD Fitness, Conscious Diligent Fitness. Welcome everybody to our first video and podcast recording. We have Rebecca and Elizabeth here with me today, and I'll have them introduce themselves and tell our audience a little bit about what you do and what business you run and love and live for.
All right. So I'll start. I'm Rebeca Montaner. I am a digital business strategist. And I also own a digital marketing agency that focuses on social media. The main thing that I do is I just guide the entrepreneurs into the step-by-step that they need to do to kind of just navigate the digital world, because it could get overwhelming and time-consuming. So either through coaching or through actually the services, which is just basically we take care of it. My main goal is so that people will have more time, especially entrepreneurs, because we all know that it's like a 24/7 job, so that they actually have more time so that they can actually spend it with their loved ones and actually enjoy their life.
Definitely. I guess we can both, or all of us, say that that's part of the reason why we decided to also become entrepreneurs, is to seek freedom of time and also maybe finances and also our passion for helping others. Cool. Thanks, Rebecca. Elizabeth, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. So hello, I'm Dr. Elizabeth Levitin. I am a certified life and health coach, and I started out as a pharmacist, and now I am a business owner of my company, Joyful Living by Elizabeth. And I teach clients how to put themselves first in order to do the things that they've put off into the someday category.
Love it. Awesome. Thank you, Elizabeth. And you lead by example. And I love that you bring such a positive energy to everyone that you encounter. I noticed that when we first met right away. And we'll jump into that in a little bit, but I'll go ahead and introduce to everybody who is watching or listening. I am Cheryl D. Guzman, and I'm a certified fitness and nutrition coach, mainly now online as we've transitioned through the quarantine. But I do have my own company called Conscious Diligent Fitness, CD Fitness, and I primarily help career and professional women quit yo-yo dieting and look and feel their best in their black dress through my program called the Black Dress Project. And overall, just within our community of women, we build an empowered group through health and nutrition education, community support, and also coaching. So I do have several different networks that I love to partner with. It's great to be able to see different women in businesses such as Rebecca's and Elizabeth's, because we know that women are here to help each other and not compete with each other. And this is the world we live in today. So this is why us three are here and why we've been able to really get together and just share and to lift each other up. So how we met, we are not just three strangers that found each other on Instagram, but we did meet each other at a business conference in Las Vegas in December of 2019, which feels like ages ago.
Does.
It really does.
Right? So we all naturally connected there just with our energy and our curiosity for one another's businesses and for our knack for helping each other out and sharing ideas. So at roundtable discussions over 3 days, we were able to help each other kind of set up our ideas for the 2020 year. And ever since then, we've been in touch. So ladies, what has really changed for you since the start of this year, whether that's personally or within your business?
The biggest thing that's going on for me is that I am writing a book called Turning Followers into Customers, and it's kicking my behind, I will admit. Uh,
We all
like,
need that a little bit, right?
I honestly didn't think it was going to be this difficult because I just kind of thought, I mean, it was going to like just pour out of me, but it's so hard. It's so hard. So I'm just kind of truckling along, you know, but that's kind of my thing, my big thing right now.
That's amazing. So, how did you decide upon taking this step to writing a book? It's such a big task. There's a lot of people that want to do this, whether they're business owners or authors or writers. So, what pushed you to writing and getting started, which is the hardest part sometimes?
Mainly to reach more people. I since the COVID-19 thing happened, you guys know my story, but basically I pivoted more into a coaching role. That's kind of really my passion, even though again I have the agency and everything and it's good, but I really do want to help the most amount of people transition into the digital. And so I feel like writing a book does two things for me. One, it has helped me to organize my thoughts and the sort of like the programs and the training that I eventually in the future will do. But the main thing is that way I'm hoping I'll be able to again reach people that I otherwise wouldn't have been able.
That's amazing. That's so exciting. When did you start?
Oh, don't even. Because I've kind of done it in little bits. So if I actually think of when I started, it will seem kind of like frustrating to me. But like, I would say seriously, I would say maybe I don't know, 3 to 4 months ago. And again, I have done it in between obviously work, you know, so I start kind of doing the outline and then I start gathering the information. But since honestly like yesterday and the day before, and that's why I'm kind of like that's kind of top of mind right now, I seriously was like, okay, I'm gonna write this, you know, like now I have no other excuse. I have everything. Like it's kind of I'm sure it happens to you with the kind of working out. Like I feel like, okay, so I bought my shoes, I got the membership, you know, I have this cute top. Like now I actually have to work out. So that's kind of how these last 2 days have been. I actually had to actually type it in. So
super exciting. Wow. I'm so excited for you.
thank you.
This is
And you,
great. This is awesome. I'm so excited for you because I remember you were saying that you were going to write one and like it's finally coming into play. And I love how, you know, it's not always supposed to be like easy per se. It's just about taking like some steps forward a little bit at a time. And before you know it, your book is done. So I'm so proud of you, girl.
Totally. I love what Elizabeth said there about just taking steps forward because something I talk about in some of my challenges to prospective clients is this idea of perfectionism, that we have to be perfect or ready or like just at the top of our field in order to start something. But in reality, we all know that everyone starts somewhere, and that's usually just at the writing page, right? Like a blank slate, and then just getting our ideas out there and taking a little bit each day. How many hours would you say that you want to commit to each day, Rebecca, to writing?
So yesterday and the day before, because I honestly I work around my husband's schedule because otherwise I wouldn't see him. So as you guys know, I just had a birthday, and so I had family come over. So basically, so these last 2 days, my husband worked till 11 p.m. So that's kind of why I decided, well, let me take that time, and just kind of like knock it out. So I don't actually work well when I actually tell myself, I'm gonna work 3 hours, or like some sort of like really structured thing. Um,
Interesting.
so I actually work better when I'm kind of like, okay, so, and that's kind of why it's taken me a little bit. I basically have just this chunk of time, like a big chunk of time. So then I basically knock it out. And usually with stuff like this that is kind of creative, it's really kind of, if I'm on a roll, I work however many hours, until I stop, until I can't, like, I'm exhausted. Um, and also if it doesn't flow, then I kind of do something else. But yeah, it's, I, when it comes to creative stuff like this, and also that is kind of for me, like there's no actual deadline in the sense of like a client or something like that. Is the only way I can actually do it, because I feel like if I do the 3 hours each day, or whatever many hours each day, it's a little bit overwhelming to even think of.
Yeah, or maybe not as authentic, right? Like if you're just kind of pushing it out there to push out 3 hours or something.
Yeah, I might not be actually into it, and basically it's a little bit of a waste of 3 hours because nothing's coming.
I love how that's your way, because, it's so funny, like different people, like some people will only adhere to structure, and that's just how their mind works and how they're going to produce their best work. And like for you, it's like you just wait until your like inspiration cup is so full, and then you just like let it go, let it all out. And all those ways are right, and it's just about finding what works for you.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. How about you, Elizabeth? What's been going on since the start of this year, and what's changed? A lot of things growing for your business.
Definitely. Well, it's so funny. Like you mentioned perfectionism, and, how most people wait until like the perfect time to start something. That just hasn't been the case for me. It wasn't in my control. So as you girls know, I've just been dealing with some health issues that, specifically just eczema, and I don't like to talk about that stuff, but it's just to show people that, I've been just struggling behind the scenes with some of this stuff, but that didn't mean that I kind of just stopped and did nothing. So what I ended up doing is I just ended up focusing on myself, and what did I need to do in order to feel good, in order to continue forward, in order to still produce the work, in order to plan. So really the first part of my year was about planning for what's to come, creating content, building up my ideas, and really creating a schedule, because that's kind of what works for me, of where is my, like, what are my boundaries where I can do some work, but then I have me time. And funny enough, like for me, all of my mornings, they're completely dedicated to me. They're dedicated to like what my soul needs, which is, whether it's going for a bike ride, taking my doggy for a walk, meditating, yoga, like those are the things for me that like nourish my soul and get me ready for the day. So now that I've kind of build my cup up over the last few months, I really started to take on a lot more, and I'm just so excited to work with so many more clients now. I think the biggest, like business-wise, I think the biggest pivot for me was just about fully being present to serve my clients and my potential clients. So before, as I was growing my business, my mindset was always about, all right, well, this is a potential client, versus like fully diving in to the conversation of just what can I do for you, what to be fully present. And now I never think about a potential sale. My one and only intention is just to serve and be there for my client or potential client, whatever they need. And based on that, I've had so much success because it's just authentic. I'm loving on them. I'm giving them what they need. And I'm basically supporting them. It's like they'd almost be crazy not to want to work with somebody that's like all about them. And that's just kind of how my mindset has been, that has brought me a lot of success. And it's just, I don't know, it's who I am. So it feels so good to come from that space. And the other thing is, I am actually going to launch my podcast soon. So I'm so excited about that.
Yay!
It's so funny because it's been something
Fun.
yeah, like it's been on my mind for so long. And I was like, just like we were talking about, thinking about perfection, the perfect microphone, the perfect, and the funny thing is I always thought that I would have to have these like hour-long podcast recordings, but funny enough, one of my coaches was telling me, hey, like that's just what you've been exposed to, but that isn't necessarily the right way. So I've decided that, you know, the value that I have to put out into the world, it doesn't have to be an hour. It's whatever comes out. And that's exactly what my listeners will need. And that kind of thought really catapulted me to saying, I'm doing it. And I'm so excited about that.
That is awesome, Elizabeth. I'm so excited for you too, because it seems like through that time that you've invested your energy and into yourself and just gathering that up to lead up to this moment has really allowed you to lift you up and then show up into your business fully, which is paying off in dividends and as far as working with clients, servicing people. And I'm curious, like, is this also making you feel better internally and also aligning with your health too?
Yeah, I love that you asked me this question because absolutely 100%. It's kind of like I'm walking the talk, right? Like if I'm going to teach people how to prioritize themselves in order to do those things that they've been putting off or they've been holding off on, that's exactly what I'm practicing each and every day. So that's why I really made it a point to just put myself first and give myself what I need. And you know, having that time just fueled me to want to keep going, to put more energy in. You're right, like my body has really started to accept I guess my ability to do more, but out of a place of, again, putting me first and honoring what I need. So yeah.
Very cool. Well, it's so cool to see what projects you ladies are working on because obviously, Elizabeth, right now we are on a podcast and you're going to be launching yours. And then Rebecca shared that she has started writing a book, and that's something I've always wanted to do. But speaking of perfectionism, have constantly put it off. And I committed because this year I turned 29 in just a few days that this is the year I'm going to start writing. And Rebecca doing it, leading by example, is just motivating me even further to just get
I'll
into it.
try to, because now I know kind of tricks to actually get there faster. So when you
I'm
decide,
so excited. I'm so excited. Very cool, ladies. I know it's been a couple of months since we actually got together and have gotten to chat, but it sounds like we've each taken on a lot during the quarantine to be able to move forward and just keep moving. You know, as far as me, you ladies know that it's been a little bit of a balancing act working for the CrossFit gym that I was coaching at full time, so to speak, and where I learned how to really understand business and build relationships with potential clients, understand the fitness industry as a means for me to create a career path. And so during the quarantine, the biggest things that have been happening within my business and personally have just been to focus inward, very similar to what Elizabeth has said about being present. Because I was taking physical time away from the gym and was not necessarily receiving hours there or taking on clients in person, was the tipping point for me to go 100% online with my business. And it's interesting because this idea of like survival mode really kicks in when you have absolutely no other option but to succeed, both physically and mentally. So although I was living at my parents' house at the start of the quarantine, I knew that my boyfriend and I were committed to moving out again this summer. And because that was happening, you know, I was just putting my head down and choosing to put every ounce of energy within my boundaries, which I'm still learning about, towards working and creating content and connecting with other business owners, connecting in different networks. And all of this has brought me to, continuing to build my pipeline, also continuing to make sales, which is all great. But what I'm most excited about, and I'm going to make a formal announcement about it this week, is I've actually taken someone onto my team. So it's no longer just me. CD Fitness now also has a mindset specialist, junior coach, as well as a program admissions consultant. So I'm super excited. She has been someone who, like you ladies, has been somewhat of a mentor, as well as an accountability buddy for me since I started CD Fitness. So she and I have chosen to partner up, taken her under my wing to help build not just the business within, but also the higher level visions. So what I love about this team member, her name is Mallory. Mallory has had a lot of experience with looking at company culture, larger impact, and pushing me to think about my 5 and 10-year visions, which during the time of quarantine, which was stressful in itself, wondering if we were going to, get sick or our family members are going to get sick. It was so hard to think about 5, 10 years out. It pushed me and stretched me beyond those confinements of fear and angst that I was experiencing, to give me more hope and more motivation to continue to grow CD Fitness to the vision that I have originally committed to. So taking her onto my team is really exciting. There's been a lot of lessons that I've been learning throughout the way, as far as transitioning from being a solopreneur into now a manager and entrepreneur in the sense of the word. And it's very humbling as well, but I'm super excited for the next 5 months, 5 to 6 months that we're going to start building into creating a bigger team, really. So at the start of 2021, I'd love to kind of share in the future of like what other coaches are coming on board and how CD Fitness has grown since then. But that's where I'm at. And it feels really good.
That's super exciting.
So
Because that's really, wow, that's when your business becomes scalable, and that's the ticket. It's challenging, mainly because, again, when you're sort of a boss, it's kind of all of a sudden now, because I kind of realized this was kind of like a learning experience for me. I have been a product and project manager, so I've been kind of like overseeing projects and whatever, but it's actually completely different ball game when you and they know that you're the one calling the shots. Like there's nobody else to kind of say, to kind of like blame, oh, they didn't let us do this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that's exciting, challenging. I'm super excited for you, mainly for the fact that, yeah, it's gonna scale. It's the beginning of taking over the world.
Yes, I love it. And you guys are going to be part of that too. I mean, every connection that we make, I believe, is truly powerful and in every way. We know that building relationships in our businesses, but also just because this is how we are, has so much power and potential. And specifically with us women, like we really mean business. We're getting things done and we have big visions and big dreams.
absolutely. And honestly, just to like piggyback off of what both of you ladies have said, it's really not about figuring out all of the steps right away, but it is about having that vision. And despite the fear, despite the nerves and the anxiety about like how to do it, how will it work, how will it look like, we keep going, right? So like this is the beauty of it. Like you said, oh, 2021, like the big things are coming. Like they absolutely are. And that's because your intention and your focus is just to keep putting one foot in front of the other and just kind of letting kind of like evaluating along the way, like what's working, what isn't, how can you polish it a little bit better, and then before you know it, you're in a completely different place. Like just for me personally, where I was in December, I'm in a completely different headspace, physical space, business space now than I was. And looking back, just like when I was just starting out as a coach a few years ago, I had no idea how to market myself. I was nervous about, coaching clients. Will I really make a difference? Even though I had like 15 years of experience in the health and wellness field, but it was different, right? So anything that's new, our brain goes to like, what are you doing? This is potential danger, like, potential failure is there. But ultimately, if we can choose to just accept this feeling as normal, that's okay. My brain thinking that there's danger out there, it's okay. My brain is trying to protect me, but this is my vision and I'm safe. I'm just putting one foot in front of the other. And that's just, that's what we're doing. And it's just amazing because literally, like every time we talk, there's so much more that has happened in between, and it's just like I just love the energy. It feels so good. We're amazing badass women.
I love that. I love that. I tell that to my clients all the time. And it's funny because I don't know if you ladies will agree with me or not, but you'll have your days, especially when you're by yourself doing the work you're doing, and you're just like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know how I'm going to keep up. Like all the imposter syndrome. And Mallory catches me on it all the time. And she's like, you are the founder and head coach of CD Fitness. Like you are a badass boss. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, you're right. Let's keep going. And it is amazing. Sometimes we just need that reminder from each other because we're doing things one at a time, and pacing is such an important lesson. I shared this on my group call with my clients because I noticed when I was on a run one time, a couple months ago, maybe like at the start of quarantine, there was another girl who was running on the forest preserve, and she looked a little bit younger than me. And I'm 28, so she looked maybe in her early 20s or so. And she was running faster. And of course, like my old instinctive self wanted to keep up with her, or maybe like beat her. But I just knew that I had 30 more minutes to run, and I wasn't going to go faster to keep up with her. Like for what? Like why not stay in your own lane, pace yourself, understand that this is your own race, right? And that's how I see building our businesses for the long term. There's still 30, 40 years ahead of us. There's the business after we pass, hopefully, to continue on. So there's no point in rushing yourself or speeding up to beat the other person just so you can have a leg on them for a little bit. And I like what Rebecca said, like when you find that flow, you just kind of go with it and you let the wind carry you. So yeah, we all have plans, but running our own race has been something that I really learned a lot through this year, because 2020 has been a rough ride. But staying positive, pacing ourselves has something I've really started to own and live up to. So what has 2020 brought to light for you ladies? What's been like the awakening for you? I was saying that 2020 was going to be the year of clarity. It's going to be it's going to bring to light this big vision. And I thought it was going to be all positive and moving forward. And then COVID happened. So what's been happening for you ladies that has come to light?
So for me, it has been the discovery of coaching. Before COVID, honestly, before this year, I didn't have that many coaches. Like I would go to seminars. I was always into like Tony Robbins, things like that, but no like one-on-one sort of coaches. And also obviously I just had never coached before, like I would always guide my clients in the agency side. And that was actually something that I enjoyed, but I also in my mind, I kind of saw that as just part of the agency, part of my work, like I didn't really realize that I was actually coaching within, the agency side. And when I transition into coaching, I really feel like I have found my calling, because it comes so natural, and I feel it's really not at all work. It's like everything that you hear, all the successful famous people, that is like, oh, find something where you never have to work again, you know, find like all these sort of kind of quotes that you have kind of heard before. To me, the click really has been that coaching, you know. The agency, I see it again as a very useful, and again, I have my team and they're the experts and everything, but they're kind of more like as a enhancement to the coaching, you know. Because just seeing the transformation, and then again, I'm talking to to you guys, right? Seeing the transformation in a human being is so much more fulfilling than seeing the most beautiful logo, you know. uh and really, that if COVID didn't happen, if everything else didn't happen, I don't think I would have, because like again, my mission was more to kind of help bring jobs to my community. So that was my mission, you know. But that's still, honestly, that still kind of felt I'm doing this for them, you know. It gave me still that push, but it's kind of like I'm doing this for someone else. The coaching, I'm able to still, because from there I also get the like jobs for the agency. I'm still able to help my people, but it's something that is just kind of like I could be coaching, honestly, like forever, and I feel like I'll still be like, all right, next, you know. Yeah, I have loved it.
I love that it like comes like it's right because you're exuding this love for it. You're exuding this energy of like this is just so you, like you, and like it doesn't take away with the fact that you're running an incredible successful agency. It just means that you've added another skill set. And I think it's so important to like consider the fact that when you first started your business, like you had not even thought once about being a coach. Like that wasn't even on your radar. But that's the magic of life, that like you became flexible and open to this idea that now you fell in love with. And so when we're making decisions in our businesses, in our lives, it's so great to know that they are great for us in the present, but they might change. So these decisions might not be forever, and we're constantly evolving to just become the better version of ourselves each and every day. And like again, like you're just exuding this like joy, and I love it. I love it.
Yes, that's amazing. And I love what you said about your mission in how the first phase of building business for you it was for others. And that's just who you are. And you're still continuing to help and serve other people, but now really honing in on what makes you special, what makes you the expert, and what can take people, human beings, individually or their businesses to that next level. Also, you mentioned that you never really had that coach experience, but coaches need coaches too. So all three of us are coaches, and we've had coaches, and whether that's for our lives personally, fitness coaches, life coaches, wellness coaches, or business coaches. And those are necessary for us to level up, or we're just going to stay kind of the same. And speaking of leveling up, another thing is I've recognized that things have to get really uncomfortable for you to grow. So something that my coach shared with me was this idea of we're building buildings, and we're like the architects as the CEO or visionary of our buildings. And we lay the foundation. So we have all of our operations, we have our fulfillment, and we have our marketing and sales. But then as we build higher up, we have to lay the next foundation of the floor and hold the pillars to support it before we break through the next ceiling. And a lot of those things are really uncomfortable because we often were taught in school that success is linear and that we just keep leveling up as the time goes by. But it doesn't mean that each month or each year we're just going to continue to get better. It takes some time, and it takes a little bit of growth that is caused by some mistakes or some lessons. And for me, I'm pretty new in business and not so new to coaching. So I'm really great at the coaching stuff. But when it comes to talking about sales and marketing or creating revenue, I get very antsy to continuously improve month after month, even though there's so many other measures for us to be successful within our business other than just the monthly revenue or sales that we've made. And making decisions like that as far as how you can really give your full self into your business is amazing, because you're leveling up, Rebecca, into that next level.
I love that. It's so true. And it's interesting how you're saying about, this discomfort with the finances, with just strategizing how to create more profit, how to grow the business on the business end. It's uncomfortable, but one big thing that I always say is failure is part of the process. So when we know what doesn't work, we just know now what can work, right? We know what not to do. We know what to try next. And there's we have this bad idea about what is, failure. It's not good, but it's absolutely part of the process. And once we accept that, I even have this one thing that I do with my clients is I have them create a massive fail plan, which is they have to come up with all of the things of all of the ways they can possibly fail at what they're trying to achieve. Because once they focus on that, they just know it's part of the process, and success is inevitable. It's just something that you work through. So I love that. And,
Awesome.
just again, to piggyback, same thing, coaching, I feel is something I'm so comfortable with. I honestly have done it, even in the as a pharmacist, for all those years, in the counseling arena. But marketing, I have to say, this is the year that I fell in love with marketing. And I always thought about it as this sleazy thing, right? I'm trying to get money for people, but it completely changed for me, because I have so much value. And because of that, all I'm doing is I'm giving the opportunity to the people that are looking for someone to really help them level up in their life, right? And those are the people that are coming to me. Those are the people, if I don't share what I can offer them, how I can help them, how will they know, right? So I just fell in love with giving value any which way. And that's just the way I feel about marketing now, that it's not a sleazy thing to do to attract clients. It's more like I am showing up for them. If they're having a bad day, maybe this one thing that I posted is exactly what they needed to hear. And I honestly, it does not matter to me whether I get a client or not. What matters to me is that I'm showing up for everybody. And my people will just naturally come to me, because they're going to say, hey, Elizabeth is my girl. She knows exactly how to get me to where I want to be. And that's just the beauty of it, right? When we have this mentality, it's not about the money, it's about the contribution, and the money just comes naturally after that. Because, hey, this is our business, right? When we work, we make money. This is just how we're making money, by being our own business owners. And the biggest part of that is we get to help everybody, which is amazing. So
Yeah. Elizabeth, it's interesting what you said about how money kind of just flows in. And I know it sounds sometimes woo-woo to people, but it really, so this is an idea borrowed from Jen Sincero, who wrote You're a Badass, or You Are a Badass at Making Money. And she said in the book, and it's a very big theme throughout, that money is currency, which is energy. And it's not necessarily just like this achievement that you have or a status that creates for you, but it's the energy that allows you to build your life, to create freedom, to do the things that you want to do. And if you are living within this high level of positive energy, it flows back to you. You know, just like you attract the type of people that you give the energy out towards, those are the same ones that are going to come towards you. It's the same thing with money and finances. And so that struck a chord with me, because I think that was something I struggled with when I first started business as well. And we have certainly grown from that since we've started, in a sense. So super exciting. How about, I think, Elizabeth, you talked a little bit about what's been brought to light for you in 2020. Did you want to add anything else to that to continue?
Yeah. So, I think for me, it was definitely, like I mentioned, the idea of falling in love with marketing and just being present and showing up, even if it's not perfect, right? I just had all of these in, like, I guess you can say, insecurities, yeah, of like showing up, and what if I stumble, what if I don't say the right words, what if like people will hate me, just all these thoughts that like came into my mind. Part of that was because I was dealing with some eczema and I was kind of embarrassed, so there's just all these like blocks that I just worked through this year, and I realized like none of that matters. What matters is that I show up for my people, because they have things that they want to be inspired. My people want to be inspired. My people want to pick me up. My people want to know how they can be helped, and it's my calling to show up for them. It's my responsibility, but I do that out of love. So for me, it was just about like putting myself first, giving myself this routine that fills my soul, so I can have this energy to put out into the world, to love on my people. And then the money just flows as an extension of that. Like, it's really true. I think, it's so true, like what you just said, how if we focus on money, if we focus on the number of clients that we get, I mean, sure, it's nice to have metrics and goals, but in all honesty, when we completely shift to just how much we can serve and give value, it just automatically flows back into our life. Just that focus of showing up for ourselves first. I will say that, showing up for ourselves first, so that we can show up for everybody else.
Amazing.
I think what I have noticed, right, is whenever you meet someone, again, now doing the coaching, whenever you meet someone that starts a business because of the money, basically, you guys know, like, business is tough. You will have, no matter if you are like Bill Gates or were Steve Jobs, if you Google any successful entrepreneur, they have had bad times. It's just a fact, right? So if you basically do this for the money when you have those bad times, that is your source of energy, is super easy to quit.
It's going to run out. Yeah. It's finite, because if you only solely base it off of that, you're going to have months where you're in the red, or you're not having the income you wanted. And if that's your driver, you're going to be like, I'm out. Money's the only thing driving me.
As a successful business owner, you know that there's a lot of activities that are needed that you don't actually see a monetary result right away, but
Absolutely.
you won't grow, right? So it is only when you find that calling, that something that is like, I like everything that you said, Ellie, like, just I want to show up for my people. You like really like notice how we're all talking, right? Like, it's all about them, And that never dies, you know, like that really will never stop. You will use that same energy to come up with like the new product, the new launch, the new, and all of a sudden it's a little bit easier to focus on making sure that it is the best thing for them, instead of like, you know, let me see what's the least amount that I can invest on this so that I can get the most profit, so that I can, you know what I mean? That's I think the magic of what you were saying about the energy. It's just, if you have the right mindset, you just do the right steps without really consciously kind of realizing it, but it's because you're really doing it for your clients, you know?
Totally. And then Rebecca, I want to jump in and add in, because that's so wise. And, you know, for all business owners and coaches specifically, like, you're constantly serving, you're putting your clients first, while also aligning that to what's important to you. And so I know each one of us are coaching, not just because we like helping people, which is important and which is huge, but we get a reward from it, and it's intrinsic. You know, it's aligned with being able to live a joyful life, like Elizabeth has shared with her clients and her people. And for Rebecca, for you, it's being able to put yourself out there and to express and be creative in who you truly are. And that's all you. And then for me, you know, it's like, what's important is lifelong health and being fit and understanding how to be educated to make good decisions for that purpose. And so, yes, we do put our clients first, and we're highly focused on service while still understanding what's most important to us. And so I know we're running a little bit short on time here, so I want to respect everyone's time, but just kind of to wrap up and close everything up, I think this discussion's been amazing. What are you ladies really looking forward to for the second half of this year moving forward?
For me, well, the actual publishing of this book will be good.
It will be amazing. It'll be more than good. It'll be amazing.
Oh yeah.
To hit that kind of button of like publish, oh, that would be so amazing. Yeah, I'm gonna, like, honestly, everything else, I know it's coming, and I know it's gonna happen and everything, but that's really my kind of like, that will be a huge accomplishment for me. Just kind of like, it's done. You know?
Love it. I love it. We'll be here for it when it happens.
Thank
So
you.
good. So good. Oh, we're gonna make a big party.
Yes, for sure.
Podcast.
Maybe we should go back to Vegas, do it right.
Yeah.
Yes. I love it. I love it. Yeah, no, for me, I think for this upcoming year, I'm already actually getting close to having a full calendar of clients, believe it or not, and believe it.
Yay! I believe.
Yeah. So I think what I'm actually moving towards now is creating a group program where not only you know, are my clients going to receive coaching, but also just new perspectives from one another, support, in addition to, you know, everything that I have to teach. So I think I definitely am moving towards that, and it's just an exciting time. I just feel this energy flowing through me of so much content that I want to share with the world, so much value. So yeah, it's exciting. And of course, the launch of my podcast, which is going to be this week, Joyful Living by Elizabeth. And I teach clients how to put themselves first. So it's going to be super exciting and fun.
So excited for you ladies. Super cool stuff. Great. Well, for me and within CD Fitness, I'm really looking forward to starting to scale, like we talked about earlier, and taking a lot of the content that I teach my clients on health as well as fitness and nutrition from these individualized one-to-one calls or group calls and moving it to an online platform where I can now house it on a membership site and be able to access more future clients at a more affordable rate. And also incorporating the group cohort style of taking them on as groups. So instead of just kind of taking clients throughout the year, just, one-on-one, I want to expand it and use email marketing, continuing to use social media, working with ladies like you and other business partners to further my reach and to scale upward. And lastly, like I shared, because Rebecca has now inspired me, I'm excited to start writing. I mean, honestly, I did start writing the book, like, I think right around the time we were in Las Vegas. It was like right before then, but I like just completely stopped it because I was like, I don't even know what this is or what I'm doing with it, but it doesn't matter. I'm just going to write. I'm going to let it flow. And kind of remember that this is also not just for my business, but this is me. I've ever since middle school, I think I've wanted to write a book. So I got like that young author award that was really exciting to get, but I do love writing. So I want to share more knowledge with more people.
I love it.
And it'll be easier for you if you love writing. I love helping, so that's why I'm doing it. But the writing part is the challenging part for me.
This was great, ladies. Thank you for being on the show. And just to give a little bit of insight, we will plan to reconvene together with us three, Rebecca, Elizabeth, and myself, and we'll continue these discussions and be able to share them with you because, we're here to help and we're here to do big things because we're badass women.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right, ladies, have a wonderful day. We'll talk soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.